أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. So, back on the topic of the Black Imams Roundtable on building economic power. Alhamdulillah for the brothers' attempts. But my issue is this. I was critical. I said that I had solutions and I was invited to your platform. But I was invited to your platform under the pretense that I was going to be able to ask questions. I never got to ask any questions. It was a total ambush, a weak ambush, a weak ambush. And now that I've went back and had an opportunity to actually watch the video, the parts that I wasn't in, right? Beginning with Imam Naeem's call to nationality through the roundabout ways that he's doing it, not recognizing, I guess, that that's the same thing that the Moorish community has been calling to from day one. We've been saying nationality is the order of the day. We've been saying turn inwardly, do for self, recognize one another. That's what we've been saying. You take issue with the term more, which is a whole nother discussion that we can tap your bottom on at a later date. However, sticking to the script. So your call to nationality through the ayat, the Surah al-Hujurat, which is what the Sundry Moors have been doing. Since our parole FCGM, my life has been dedicated towards calling us towards nationality, to reclaim the Islamic heritage that is rightfully ours, because knowledge is the lost property of the believer, and we have more right to it than others. Now, that said, it's funny that I look at and listen to y'all, Imam Thug. Let me give you some jewels, Imam Thug. You rocking with the 501c3 is not wise to be, criticizing U.S. economic policies and whatnot, because you might find yourself in some type of IRS violation, kid. That's just a jewel from the Sundry Moors. You can research it if you like. If not, keep talking. Anyway, and then, from the brother Muhammad Al-Amin, you're right. You self-admit that you guys have been taught Islam wrong. Not just you guys, us in general have been given a streamlined version of the deen that has basically incapacitated us, has made us lethargic, right? And so, in a roundabout way, you guys are now recognizing that we should have kept certain things from Elijah Muhammad and so on and so forth, which is rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't telling us nothing that any people don't have a right to. You know, but you stop there and then you won't look to what Noble Drew Ali said, because Noble Drew Ali said, we are the lost sons and daughters, the fallen sons and daughters of the Moorish Empire. Now, whatever you think about Noble Drew Ali on the religious page, that's your business, because I'm not here to promote Moorish science in the sense of Noble Drew Ali is the prophet and so on and so forth. But I do acknowledge that the man came with the missing component, and ain't nobody else did better since. Now, um, uh, uh, we Sundry Moors are Ahlus Sunnah wal Jamaat also, you know, and we're part of the greater Islamic community. Now, just like there's various groups of Muslims, there's various groups and types of Moors. You see what I'm saying? But one thing that is consistent throughout the Moorish community is Moor is a nationality, and it's a documented, recognized Islamic identity. Now, for the life of me, you guys want to call yourself black, and that's your business, and I don't object to it amongst each other if that's what you want to call each other. You know what I'm saying? But, when you start talking about stepping into the world of politics and the affairs of men and the families of nations, it's nations. It's not color schemes. You can't step to the world and say the black people, because what is that? Where's the origin? What is it? What is that? That's a created identity. It began with the fall of the Moorish Empire. Ever since the fall of the Moorish Empire, these entities, these identities have been created to take you out of your proper person, to take you away from your vast estate. But you got to learn that, and perhaps just finally come to grips that you embracing slave titles, the badges of slavery, which have been constitutionally abolished, outlawed, but you keep perpetuating them. So you can never ascend to the human family because you refuse to relinquish those titles. Those are things that all point towards property, no free will and volition, minority status, ward of the court status, your 14th Amendment entity, which you can get into whether or not that was fully ratified later, because there's qualified legal argument to suggest that the 14th Amendment was not fully ratified, that they did not have the quorum. So in the book by Bobby Wright, when he says that so-called black people are Supreme Court decision away from being declared unconstitutional, bingo, I understood that because I studied the law. You Negroes are in a cold bag, and you better wake up. You talking about economic power? You can just forget about that. You don't even have the status to be able to own property yet.